How's it going, YouTube? Dallas Boy here with round 2 of the TokenMinorities March Madness Draft Tournament. And for round 2, I got placed in a pool with MattMetagross, Specs King, and JDMI. First match I had against MattMetagross. For a recap, my team is Tapu Koko, Tornadus Therian, Kartana, Hawlucha, Alolan Persian, Rotom-Wash, Mega Steelix, and Crustle. This first match is against MattMetagross. His team consists of Tapu Koko, Infernape, which is a Z user. Oh, and I should also note that Tapu Koko was my designated Z user. Excadrill, Hippowdon, Mega Beedrill, Araquanid, Drampa, and Blossom. And this match, I was mildly disappointed that Matt did not bring Drampa. I mean, Drampa's the GOAT. Wise man once said. But, yeah, I definitely feel like if Drampa would have come to this game, it would have done pretty well. Then again, I do have a Hawlucha and a Kartana on my team, which probably could have dealt with it pretty nicely with some moves and whatnot, but still, Drampa's the GOAT. So, yeah, this match I do believe pretty sure I brought Timid Kartana to this matchup. So as a result, I'm kind of looking at that thing as a win con, but we'll see how this thing goes. So, leading off with Rotom-Wash, best lead against his team. He leads off with Mega Beedrill, gets a U-turn on me, does 40%, he goes into Araquanid, and I'm just going to get a full switch off on that, and go into Tapu Koko to pretty much threaten it. Thunderbolt's kind of obvious, so I'm just going to get off Nature's Madness on whatever wants to come in. Getting low in Persian, U-tanks an Earthquake. Thanks to the Mold Breaker, I didn't really have much to tank whatever. So, Alolan Persian was my best bet. I get off a Parting Shot, go into Kartana, and I'm just going to be setting up an SD here. And here is where I probably should have made some calcs. He's Koba Berry Araquanid, and I went for Aerial Ace. Plus 2 Leaf Blade, I think would have taken out Araquanid in that range, and it's going to cost me, because he's HP Fire. I mean, I do have the Koba Berry and I live with 4, but I think if I took that whatchamacallit, Araquanid out with a Leaf Blade head on, then Kartana would have been at higher health, and we're probably looking at a Kartana sweep. But since I let this thing get weakened, I have to sack it to a Mach Punch. So that's unfortunate, so gonna have to go out into Rotom here. And I'm just gonna click Hydro Pump. Does a little bit over half to the Tapu Koko. And I'm just gonna go into Steelix to Wallstead Tapu Koko. Sends out Infernape. And I'm just gonna be sacking Alolan Persian here. It's not doing too much, and I need Mega Steelix healthy for that Koko. Gonna be sending in my own Koko, and it turns out that his Infernape is Scarfed. But Koko eats a hit like a champ, and Infernape, which was a very big threat to my team, gone. So Mega Steelix is looking primed to do some work here. I send out said Mega Steelix. He goes for Drill Run. And even without the Mega, I'm just eating it up here. And he's just forced to go for a U-turn there. I go for an Earthquake as he sends in Hippowdon. And I kind of expected hitting the rocks there and probably eat the hit. So I just fire off a Toxic. Don't have a lot of means left to take on the Hippowdon. So, Toxic whittling it down, probably my best bet. So, no, gonna go out and Rotom-Wash, expecting an Earthquake. Eating it like a champ there. And Hydro Pump is looking pretty free here. Mega Beedrill, yeah, that's going to be taking a Will-O-Wisp there. Would have been nice to catch the Excadrill, but yeah, I pretty much catch the Mega Beedrill, so I'll take that. Mega Beedrill is also a pretty big threat. And out comes the Excadrill now, and I'm going to go into Tapu Koko as fodder to try to get some shenanigans going with Hawlucha. And I'm thinking at this point, it's looking like a snack wrap. Swords Dance up on the switch. He goes into the burnt Mega Beedrill. I take that out. Easy peasy. Next comes Hawlucha. I get a crit on the high jump kick. I count this, and depending on the spread, it was looking like a roll. Sorry about this being a little bit unprofessional, but just checking the logs here. Oh, it wasn't in the PMs. But yeah, it was looking like it was going to be a roll. But that crit was definitely unfortunate. Don't know what he would have done. Maybe a Whirlwind to prolong the game. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, thanks to that high jump kick crit. Yeah, beginning of the end here. Poison Jab on the Koko. And his last is Excadrill, and I'm just going to be taking this thing out with another high jump kick. Oh, yeah, there are the logs. He would have gone for Whirlwind. Oof. So, yeah, the crit hurt him, and I get a 3-0 victory there. Definitely unfortunate how that crit went down. I could have set up on that Mega Beedrill also. I mean, it was burnt, I was at +2. But, yeah, I kind of thought I had it in the bag, but Hacks is definitely a thing, and it kind of stinks. So, on to the next one against Specs King. And this one was looking like my hardest matchup in this bracket. Or pool, rather. And at the time, he was 2-0. With, yeah, I don't remember the differential. I think +4 maybe, or something? Not entirely sure. So if he wins, he moves on to brackets. If I win, then I'm looking like I'm in a prime position. I just need to win my next match and I'm moving on. But I heard some stories about Specs King that he's pretty good. He had an easy pool. And yeah, that one kind of had me nervous. So I decided, yeah, let's just get this over with. Just minutes after the MattMetagross matchup. And, yeah. So, without further ado, let's get match number 2 on the road. So, turn 1, I'm leading off the Rotom-Wash. Best lead against his, team from the looks of the composition. He leads off with Infernape. And I have nothing to lose here, except just going to be firing off the Specs Hydro Pump. Goes into Koko, and I take this thing out with a crit. While it was a roll to take out the Tapu Koko, from the spread he gave me, he was like 248 HP, and I calculated it was a roll. With the roll, it might or might not have mattered, but mentality-wise, the crit mattered, because it would have this crit changed up a few things. How the game is going to be played. He doesn't know that I'm a Specs Rotom, and I just cleanly take out quite possibly one of the biggest threats to my team in his Tapu Koko. So here's where it matters. I got off a nice meaty 78% on this Metagross with a Specs Hydro Pump, which pretty much confirms that this is Specs. Metagross can't do a lot to me, and oof, he misses a Toxic. So now he knows I'm Specs. I'm just gonna be dropping another Specs Hydro Pump onto the Suicune, then switching out into my Tapu Koko, and then that'll be taking a Toxic. And pretty much know that this thing might want to switch out. So I U-turn, he goes for Protect. And now he goes out in the Piloswine. I kind of predicted this one to come out, and he misses a Nature's Madness. Or my Koko misses Nature's Madness. Honestly, that would have been nice for the Piloswine, but yeah, what can you do? So now I'm just going to be U-turning out into Rotom here as he sets up rocks. And I pretty much know that the switch here is kind of obvious, so just going to go for Trick. And I get the Suicune's leftovers, and now he has my Choice Specs. And Trick was also a pretty no drawback play in case I wanted to Volt Switch around on the Piloswine, switch out, and maybe get in the Violite from that thing, and pressure the Piloswine a little bit more, but locking this Suicune into one move, all the better. So, just gonna be dropping some Thunderbolts on here. And he actually gets a burn on the Scald, which actually kind of unfortunate, but gonna be taking this Suicune out with another Thunderbolt. And now he goes out into Mega Alakazam. And don't have a lot of switch-ins to this thing, so just gonna be sacking Rotom. Goes for Psychic, gets a crit. Might have mattered from a damage standpoint, but you know, with my spread, and I don't know if he's modest or not, he probably could be running enough to outspeed Koko, which may be timid. Yeah, I don't know the damage calc off the top of my head, but Rotom gets taken out with a crit Psychic, but not without denting a very good portion of Specs King's team. Rotom, easily MVP of this match. So, I'm going out to Kartana. I'm Scarf Kartana this match, and just gonna lock myself in the Leaf Blade. He brings out Infernape, and I don't really want to take a priority move in this Kartana, or on this Kartana. It's looking like the win con this game. He reveals Vacuum Wave, and I'm just going to go out in a Torn. I'm a Subtoxic Torn, but a Subtoxic Torn that is legally blind because I miss a couple of Hurricanes. Go me! But after the crit Hydro Pump and whatnot there, kind of deserved. So, going to be going out into Kartana to revenge kill the Metagross. He goes back out into Infernape. Vacuum Wave is kind of obvious. So I'll be going out into Koko to set up the terrain and have Piloswine do some work here. Or have Hawlucha do some work, rather. And it's looking like I'm going to be denting his team into an Oblivion. Except for the fact that the Acrobatics doesn't quite KO. Might be running Bulk. Maybe. Not sure. But takes me out with the Psychic after taking the Acrobatics. And it turns out that this Alakazam is not packing a Focus Blast. So Kartana, or no, Mega Steelix just tanking up the rest of the game and taking out Specs King. So Rotom definitely MVP of this match, and at this point I'm really hyped. I'm popping off, actually. So I'm 2-0 plus 6, and I still have one more match to go if I want to make the brackets. And Legend is popping in that one right now. Alright, so this third and final game is against Young Modulus, aka JDMI, and his Atlanta Firehawks, I think his team name is, and his team consists of Landers, Therian, Hydreigon, Necrozma, Mega Aggron, Salazzle, Araquanid, and Togekiss. which is not pictured. And while he does have 7 Mons, I was pretty nervous about this match for a couple of reasons. One, while he does have 7 Mons, he could just move around some stuff on his members and just handle some rolls accordingly, which increases his unpredictability. I mean, he has 3 rockers that I'm staring down. Necrozma can be a Calm Mindset. Landorus can be Scarfed or Rock Polish. So, kind of thinking about his unpredictability there, which can be pretty scary. And then secondly, it's just nerves of trying to get this monkey off my back and get into brackets. Well, the March Madness monkey off my back. In 2016, I was in a March Madness tournament, and I got hacked into oblivion, lost a lot of confidence. I wasn't in the right place afterwards, and even going forward. Just thinking about some IRL stuff, got on some medication a little bit down the road, and yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight. But through a little bit of laughter and a whole bunch of other stuff that has gone on in my life, I've gotten better. And I'm pretty much here now and still breathing. But still, I was pretty nervous about how this match is going to go down, because I know JDMI is a pretty good player to have gotten this far, and I guess we're just going to see how this whole battle goes. So, here's game 3 without further ado. So starting off, he's leading off with Landorus. I lead off with Rotom-Wash because I believe that this is going to be my best lead against what he has on his team. Goes into a Araquanid expecting a Hydro Pump. I miss here, kind of unfortunate, but not too big going forward, because resisted hit and Araquanid does have that monster special defense stat. So here, just gonna go for Thunderbolt to see what this thing wants to do. Turns out he's a Wakamberry and sets up Sticky Web. So I want those webs removed immediately, so I go for a Defog, and there he reveals the Mirror Coat, which kind of has me in a little bit of a worrisome situation. I don't want anybody on my team taking a Mirror Coat. They're all pretty important in one way or another. Persian can kind of dunk the Necrozma if it's set up. Tapu Koko is my win con, and other stuff and things. Just don't know what his team is yet, so kind of need to play this Araquanid carefully. So it's gonna require me to go for a Volt Switch at this point. So I'm thinking, who wants to take a Mirror Coat the most? My play here is thinking that Tornadus has Regenerators, and he's not going to, and he's just going to recover his, health back with Regenerating and whatnot, but turns out he goes for the Liquidation, and dents me for about over half my health. And since Torn is basically my Hydreigon switch, and since this is an Assault Vest variant, I'm just thinking that I need to dunk this immediately, and thanks to the -1 evasion, I can just freely click Hurricane, because not too much wants to switch into it, except for this Mega Aggron coming in. And I do chunk it for 10%. So, any chip on this fat thing is good damage. Gonna protect on me as I go for U-turn, and just U-turning twice there to get my health back. Go into Rotom to wall the Mega Aggron, and then just Volt Switch on the incoming Necrozma, and I can just bring my Alolan Persian. And here I go for a Toxic, but I unfortunately miss, as he does go for Moonlight. That Toxic miss is somewhat relatively big, as you will see later. in the game, so just putting some stuff out there for foreshadowing. Go for a Toxic again, goes into Mega Aggron, and I'm just going to Party Shot on out of there, going into my Rotom-Wash. Goes for every slam, and pretty much a good chunk of this match is just me trying to gain momentum, just Volt turning, Parting Shotting, to just try to gain momentum in general. But I do go for a Hydro Pump on the Mega Aggron. Now it's at about half, and I can just freely, it's starting to get a little bit more whittled. But here I go into a lone person, just Parting Shot on out of there, going to Tornadus, and here I click Knockoff to try to get rid of those leftovers. And yeah, although Moonlight does have that APP, I still need this thing broken, because I kind of want the Hawlucha to just dent things, and that Necrozma is pretty much the only thing in the way. So, gonna go for Thunderbolt as the Hydreigon switches in, go into Torn to take the Dranko Beat here, and just gonna continue building up the momentum. Again, a good portion of this game is me Volt turning, Parting Shotting in and out with my squad to gain a little bit of momentum. He goes into Salazzle on my Toxic, fires off a Sludge Wave. Just gonna Parting Shot on out. Go for the HP Ground on the Necrozma, and then I miss a Hurricane, which allows him to get back his health again. Miss a second one as he goes for a Photon Geyser. Just with this Necrozma just sticking around, if this thing would have been Toxic, probably would have been gone at this point. So, yeah, I was pretty annoyed by the lack of Toxic status on the Necrozma because of my miss. So after a little bit, just gonna go for a Volt Switch on the Hydreigon switch in. Just keep up the momentum, go for U-turn, and send in my Tapu Koko. And he doesn't have too much of a switch into this thing for Thunderbolt, except this Landorus. And here, I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if this Landorus is set yet. I may be Shooka-Berry, but I don't want this thing being Scarfed. And, kind of denting my Tapu Koko with an Earthquake and removing my Wincon from the game. So, despite me being Shooka, I'm just gonna switch out into my Rotom-Wash and see what he does. Turns out he's Rocks, so not looking like a choice variant of Landorus at this point. So, here I'm gonna defog away the Rocks, and I'm thinking that, I'm in electric terrain, I can probably knock this thing out with a Thunderbolt, but apparently not, and turns out that the Necrozma lives with 23%, and he's able to get up another Moonlight. So, that Miss Toxic just definitely hurting me at this point, and here I'm just gonna try to stack Persian, or I kind of expected him to go for Photon Geyser and get a little bit more health back, because Rotom was immune to the Earth Power, so his other attack that I know of is Photon Geyser. Don't know the fourth move, so switching Persian in on a Photon Geyser was a kind of relatively safe-ish play. And here, the shenanigans of Parting Shot continues. I'm just gonna go into my Assault Vest Torn, and he's gonna go into Landorus here. I try to fire off that's later. I fire off a Hurricane, end up confusing the Landorus there, and on the U-turn it turns out that he's rocking Helmet, and then he ends up connecting a Stone Edge on my Rotom. And now, he's gonna go into Necrozma here. Turns out that this Hydro Pump does 27%, so sorry about that, computer update. If I end up living this Hydro Pump, or if I end up hitting this Hydro Pump and taking him out, then Hawlucha's pretty much home free here at this point. So I just need to connect this. Bleh, I just need to connect this Hydro Pump, and Hawlucha is pretty much in the clear for the rest of the game. Some items pending and whatnot. And fortunately, I connect that Hydro Pump and the Necrozma is gone. And things are starting to look up. The game's about to go a little bit faster now. There, he misses Draco Meteor. Definitely unfortunate. And it's immediately going to bite him in the butt. Because my Persian is actually play rough. And I take out the Hydreigon in one hit. And now out comes Mega Aggron. I'm just going to go for Parting Shot. And he goes for the Iron Defense for some reason. Don't know why he has that. Maybe tanking a hit for Hawlucha and whatnot. But I pretty much know at this point that Rotom-Wash is a clean wall on this Hydreigon. And I'm just going to continue the process of... Or no, wait. I just Thunderbolt there because not too much of a switching at this point. Get a Thunderbolt up on the Aggron and pretty much just clicking Thunderbolt at this point just to try to get, or just to, or it's just a relatively free click. Goes into an Arachnid on the Hydro Pump, then that just falls over to a Thunderbolt. Now it comes to Lazzle, and ends up getting a crit on the Sludge Wave as I try to get out of there. I'm just trying to preserve that Rotom because Landorus, Therian, while whittled down, still the Hydro Pump is kind of needed to take that out, but going out into Torn on the Full Twitch there, and then just gonna be clicking HP Ground there, but Landorus comes in, it's immune, not much else you can do, so I'm just gonna go into Alolan Persian to take the Stone Edge, and just get off another Parting Shot, and now in comes Hawlucha to kind of think the game, but my dumb butt decided to put Mold Breaker on this thing, because initially I was thinking about a Subtoxic Hawlucha for this match to try to deal with the Necrozma, but coaching said that Power Herb Sky Attack would be better this game, and I am going to go for a set Power Herb Sky Attack on this Landorus, remove that, and with the way he's sending this to Lazzle, I switch out because it is very obviously Scarfed, and I just wanted to preserve the 6-0, so just going to go into Torn to take a couple of Sludge Waves, and then here I U-turn because I calced, and HP Ground would have been a roll to take out the Mega Aggron, and I wanted to preserve the 6-0. And honestly, just gonna go out and here with Kartana. Just gonna go on to Kartana here, because what better way to end a 6-0 and clinch brackets than to close out with a Dallas Kartana. So that's a 6-0 in my favor, and I am moving on to brackets with a round record of 3-0 plus 12 and an overall record so far of I think 6-1 plus 17, I think. But this game was such a relief to have won and to have advanced on the brackets, and just very proud of myself at this point. And yeah, not much else I can say. So on the brackets I go, and how far I'll go in this tournament, I'll just go as far as this game and this team will take me. So hope you guys enjoyed. Rate, comment, sub, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.